Hey, good day. Welcome back to here, Mr. Cho's Garage. Thanks for joining me again here on another project. We're working on a 2007 Honda CRV. This one here is all-wheel drive, and we got the customer is going to be replacing the rear strut assembly. They're going with a complete strut assembly on this one. So we're not going to do no rebuilding of no cartridges or nothing like that. We're just going to do full replacement. They get new springs, new struts. You can do the cartridge. It's a little bit less expensive, a lot more work. But then, you've got to think about spring fatigue. Time goes by and the springs are what's going to support the rear end of the vehicle. And so if you got some sagging springs and, it's going to soften the ride too. And, bottom out if you got any kind of weight in the back of it. Or if you're just a really bad driver and you drive fast and you hit them potholes. So anyway, let's get in depth here real quick. So I've already got the vehicle jacked up. I've got it jack stands underneath each side, and I got a little support over there on the in the middle. Just a little cheap insurance. Anyway, here we go. So here is your strut assembly. Got the one bolt down here, the lower bolt. It's a 17 millimeter head right there, and then up top you got to go into the vehicle. Let's go. Here we go. Okay. So the upper strut bolts nuts are in here. So this guy's just going to pop off. Nothing crazy. Okay. And dang light. So they are right there. So those two got to come out. So right now the rear suspension is hanging because the strut is pushing down like it's supposed to. The spring, and so those bolts, you can take them loose now if you want, or you can do it when the vehicle is on the ground. Oh dang, I'm too close. So if you leave the vehicle settled and then you take those two nuts off, you can loosen them up. It'll hang off those, but it's either way. You can do it either way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen the lower strut bolt and take it out first, and then it's going to let the suspension kind of go kind of neutral. So then by me taking the upper bolts out, the nuts, it's no big deal. Nothing's under pressure. It's not going to wing out and get you. Anyway, so I'm going to get this phone here situated and kind of give you a quickaroo of what's going to go down. So bear with me. Okay, so we're back at it here. I'm going to give you the old quickaroo. The sway bar end link for the rear sway bar, you're going to want to undo that nut right there. Oh, dang. It's 14 millimeter, and then there is a hex in there. Take like an Allen wrench, or you could take like a socket, and, well, it's not a socket, but you know what I mean. So you can hold that, because it's going to want to spin while you're trying to take the nut off. I hit that with a wire wheel first. You can do some WD-40 if you don't got a wire wheel or a wire brush. Anyway, that's going to have to come off because you're going to put pressure on your suspension here. Oh, dang. Get this thing out of here. Okay. So, because once we loosen everything up, we're going to be compressing the suspension downward. And everything has rubber bushings in it, and they all have the bolts in there. And you don't really want to loosen those bolts up because you don't have to. You can if you're really struggling. But anyway, we're going to talk about that. So rear sway bar is coming loose. Upper control arm, this bolt's going to come out. It's a 17 millimeter. You're going to take off your brake hose right here, 12 millimeter. And then you're going to take off your ABS line, your wheel speed sensor. So we'll just start at it right there. Boop. All right. Anyway, so we're going to get this apart real quick, and then we're going to move on. So stand by, because this is how we get down. Okay, here we go. So we're going to try and do a little quickaroo here. I got my sway bar end link we're going for right now. And what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can get that guy out of here real quick. It's kind of a bugger sometimes because, like I said, they want to rotate while you're taking it apart because there's nothing holding it on the other side. So you have to kind of do a twofer on it. When you can completely round it out like that if you want to, like I did just now, or you can finagle it. Mr. Cho's looking like a cholo right now. Oh my goodness. Go down. Let's see what we can do here. A little bumperoo. See what we've got. We do have it disconnected on the other side. So if this thing's going to be a fangster, we can just go ahead and leave it connected and not fight with it, because we don't got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. But we're going to go ahead and move on here. So because I don't want to look like a fool while I do my video, because I try to keep it one and done. So 12 millimeter on the brake hose. That one's out. ABS speed sensor line's out. We're going to go ahead and move on to lower strut bolt, going big. All right. She's out. Oh, dang. There, that's 17 millimeter. 17 millimeter on the upper control arm coming in. She's loose. Give her a little push. And she's out. Make sure you got your vehicle super steady, because you're going to be pushing and pulling on this thing. And so you don't want it to be all cattywampus. You want it to be safe, because you ain't going to knock it down yourself and you're going to be like hurt or dead. So anyway, you know, make sure everything's stable. That's why I got the blocks in the back, 2 jack stands each side. I got the vehicle fully supported. So anyway, up control arm, brake line, ABS line, those take them loose, because you're going to be pulling on this thing, and you don't want to pull everything and pull it tight and taut, and you're going to break your wires, or you can stretch and rupture your hose. Anyway, so the suspension's kind of at like a settled position right now. You can see it's moving like this. Oh dang. Okay, here we go. See, now watch that there bolt. Okay, look at that. Come right out. So the strut's got no pressure on it right now. Remember, the bolts up top, they're holding it together. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna head up there and we're gonna yard them babies right out of there. Go dang, go dang. Yeah, here we go. Here's Mr. Cho's chicken, doing chicken things. Right now we're in the middle of the egg crisis, because the government done gone killing off all chickens, so people can't support themselves because they want people to be supported by the government, so you know, that way they can work their way into the full control, if you know what I mean. But we won't go there. This is Mr. Cho's Garage, not Mr. Cho's Politics and how the government's dumb. But anyway, here we go. So got the 1 and the 2 right there, and they're gonna come out. Stand by. Okay, so we're back at it. So as you can see, those nuts are out of there, and that strut is just kind of hanging out. It's just on like full sag mode right now. So anyway, this is what we got going. So it's all loose, but it's tucked up in this pocket right here, and so you can't just pull it out. So this is where you got to finagle it. That's why you want to take all these guys loose. So let me see if I can get this back in here. Falling chicken. Come on. Okay, here we go. So I got my rod here, and I got me a McSticky. We're gonna put this in there, and it's gonna help hold the suspension down. And I'm gonna go ahead and put it underneath this arm pocket right there, off the lower adjustment cam bolt, and we're gonna put this up here into the frame area. I don't know if that sway bar is gonna let me go far as I want to go. Go dang. There we go. So that worked. So little taunt, kind of loose. So anyway, this strut here, she's ready to come out. So let's go ahead and take that guy off there a little bit further. Help me feel better about. Oh, god dang, god dang. All right, here we go. There. Anyway, I lost my tool. I am a tool myself. Anyway. Okay, so that the ABS wire is totally free now, and this brake line is completely okay the way that it is. So let's see if we can pull this strut down here. Oh dang! Get out of there! Brake lines giving me guff. We're gonna get this brake line loose and get a little bit more out of it. There we go. Oh, god dang, god dang. Would you look at that? Got a 12mm bolt. Not 12mm, but the head's 12. It's just covered in dirt, couldn't see it. Mr. Cho, that's why I wear corrective lenses, because I got bad vision. Anyway, here we go. Okay, so I got some more slack on that there brake line, and let's see what we can do with this girl now. Okay, get her on out here now. Caught up on something up in here, and I don't know what it is. Oh, I remember now. There's a tang. There's a tang on some of these. So when you put it up in there, it clips and it hooks up in there and it hangs. So you don't have to try and like hold it and then reach your go-go gadget arm around in there and do it from the inside, because obviously your arms aren't long enough. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Get this thing out of here anyway. Okay, there we go. Oh, there it is right there. See, there's that tang. So it's got the pocket, and you put it up into the pocket and it'll hang on that guy like that. And then these will be up in the holes all right, and so that way you're not, like I said, trying to hold it up, or you got to call somebody for help and hold it up in there while you're trying to get done. Anyway, be right back. And we're back. Anyway, so when you're doing these struts here, there are specifics. Stand by. Okay, so that says left, and this is the left side. So they are indexed. So if you take a look here, you got your tower that goes up into the body, and then see how that's indexed and it's turned like that? That's where you do the left and the right. So if you put it in backward, look at your bolt can go wrong way. So make sure you're paying attention. There is an inside and outside. It only goes in one way. Otherwise, you're taking it all back apart, and because you already got it stuffed up in there, you're like, oh, my lower bolt won't line up because it's indexed, because it only goes on one way. That's why there's a left and a right. I guess you could put the left one in backward on the right side and it might line up, but I wouldn't recommend trying that unless you just want to waste time. But anyway, so we're gonna get back at this here, and I'm gonna stop rambling now. Mr. Cho's chicken is just going crazy in there. Bark, bark, bark. Anyway, this here box open up. They come with new bolts. Or God dang, these aren't bolts; these are nuts. They come with new nuts. Mr. Cho sounds like an idiot. How are people supposed to take me seriously and trust that I work on vehicles when I don't even know what stuff to call them? I can't even labelize it properly. What the heck's labelize mean? Anyway, God dang. There is a foam gasket up in here to help seal, because this goes up in that pocket, and then this keeps water and debris to get up in through to the vehicle from the outside. So like I said, anyway, our bolt is going at an angle, so we're going to go in and we're verifying that when I put it in this way that the bolt is going to go the correct way, and if I do it this way, it's going to go in the same way of the right way. So there's an L for left. Look at this. This end installed up. So that cracks me up. So I don't know if y'all can read this. Look at this. This is for people that really don't know what they're doing. This end installed up. So you want to make sure that when you put this in your vehicle, you put this end up in there. You don't want to do it this way, because then you're going to be a little cattywampus. It might not ride. You might have some like control issues, real poor handling. So anyway, if it says this end up, and it obviously goes one way, you know that was made on a Friday and somebody is having a good time. Anyway, let's get back at this. Can you see? Okay, here we go. Enough rambling. Let's get some work done. We're gonna go this way. All right. Oh man, what in gall dang? What in gall dang nation? Ugh. There we go. Oh, good Lord. See, this one's getting kind of silly. Let me show you. So, if I put it in there, now look at my mount. Oh, God dang. See, it's really twisted. So, it might not be clocked 100% from the factory. They might have done something wrong. Oh, check this out. Here's a little Mr. Cho Easter egg. I felt with my finger. Oh, God dang. I can't do this. Stand by. This is like one of the poorest videos I've ever made. I'm trying to like summarize it real quick and it's just, everything's going wrong. God dang. Right here. The spring is not totally fully set up in this bottom plate here. And so when I put this in there, I'm going to have to put a rod in here, and I'm going to have to give a little twist to line my eye up, because otherwise it's going to be totally cattywampus. Oh, man. I'm sorry, folks. This is just buck wild today. Oh, dang. So, okay, I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna grab my nuts. I'm gonna grab the new nuts. Mr. Joe, making it funny. So, don't tighten them down right now. Just get them on there finger tight. God dang, God dang. Okay. So you just want to get them started because you want that to move and pivot around while you're finagling it in there. Okay. So this is what I was talking about. So the mount is not sitting in there right, and this won't twist anymore. So what we're gonna do is, see, now it's gonna stay in there because I got my nuts in there. I got the nuts holding it in there. I'm sorry. This video is taking way too long. Anyway, so I'm gonna put my 3/8 extension in there. I gotta put this down. I need a two-hander. Oh man, my nose. I swear I live in the Arctic. Yeah, we'll leave that block in there. There we go. Little turn action. Let's make it too big of a jump. Oh man. Come on, Phil. We're gonna make it fit. Make her fit. Anyway, get my rod here. Pull that sticky out of there. Put my bolt. Oops, I overshot it. Line her up. Don't tighten this down right now. You just want to get it going. All day. So anyway. So it's just sitting in there because you don't want to tighten this right now. You got to wait. That's a step that's going to be coming in towards the end here. So the nuts are in there and they're loose. That one's loose. And what you're going to do here is start reassembling everything. And we're going to get the rear jack. Put the jack underneath that control arm there. And we're going to lift it up to support so we can get that upper control arm bolt. This guy right here, because you have a distance now from the suspension sag. So stand by. Okay, we're back at it. So I've got my jack underneath the rear control arm, and we've taken the suspension and lifted it back up. Oh dang. And we've lifted it back up, and now I'm going to access my upper control arm here. See, we got everything's, like I said, it's all connected with rubber bushings, so that's why you don't want to just tighten stuff down. You want to leave it loose. And then after you get the suspension back to where it's supposed to be at its like neutral position with like all the weight down on the vehicle, then you start tightening things up. Because if you tighten it while it's fully suspended and you tighten it down with those bushings, as soon as you let the weight of the vehicle down, that bushing is going to twist and you're going to end up ripping them rubber bushings out and blowing them out. And then you're going to be back into it all over again. So that's key. You don't just tighten down suspension components, especially if they have rubber bushings that are fused into them, because you're just going to tear them out, and we don't want to do that. So anyway, let's get that big. God, I think I had too much coffee. I should have let the coffee settle a little bit before I got into this. So anyway, I can still pull on this a little bit. You still want to be super careful. Like I said, you're on the jack stands, and you got everything's, you know, kind of dangerous right now. So I'm able to get my bolt back in and got it started. God dang. I got the big dog out today, and it's kind of fighting me. I usually don't use the big dog. Okay. So, anyway. here we go. So you can see that it's not tight all the way. It's just, god dang, light shadowing. Goodness gracious. Anyway, so you see it's not tight all the way, and getting my ABS line back into play here. A little bit. Brake line's back up. This one, it's going to go in here in just a second. So now what we can do is you can jack it up to where the body is coming up off the jack stand, because then you know the suspension is holding the vehicle's weight up. Then you can tighten down your up control arm, and you can tighten down your lower strut bolt down there. God dang. Because those are the two that you'll rip them out as soon as that suspension starts moving, because it's already going to be in a twist. God dang. And you're just going to twist it back and forth, and you're going to rip that bushing right out of there. God dang. Anyway, here we go. So we're going to lift her up a little bit more. Real careful, like. Okay, so I got the pressure off the jack stand. I'm going to go ahead and hit this guy. That's taunt. That one's done. Okay, so now you can let her back down. We're back in the safe zone. Back on the jack stands all the way. There you go. Now it's just like back to like when you started. So we're gonna reconnect our rear brake line here. Don't want to leave that guy loose. Oh, there. That guy there. And a clip. That's a special hammering device that I have. That's custom. Tight. ABS wire. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and calming down. Okay. Caffeine's just flowing through me. So we're going to go ahead and tighten down the upper strut tower bolts, upper strut tower nuts. Goodness. And that's going to be the last step on this, because we got, and the sway bar and links. Don't forget them. Getting all dirty. You know, you got 2-3 bolts that come out, and you can replace your whole strut assembly, and it's pretty smooth. You know, sometimes you got to fight with it. You get a pry bar, and you pry with it a little bit, and sometimes you got to fandangle those things, because they can get a little trickaroo. But you know, time and experience, you know, hands-on. Just make sure you're safe. Make sure your vehicle's stable, because you're pulling and prying on suspension components, and you don't want to spit a jack stand out. So the biggest thing I can recommend about this job is make sure the vehicle is safely supported, because you're pulling and harping on the suspension components, and you're down underneath there. So Mr. Joe's Garage likes safety, and we like to get stuff done, because that's how we get down. Anyway, thanks for watching this super long video of nearly half hour of rambling and chaos. But you know, while I'm doing the thing, you know, we got one strut in nearly complete in half an hour with my rambling. So imagine if I wasn't taking a video on how quick it could go. So anyway, don't be afraid to do your own struts. Make sure your vehicle's supported. Don't do it with a bunch of jimmy jacking. Okay, do it right, or don't do it at all, or pay somebody else to do it. Anyway, thanks for watching, and really sorry about this one. Mr. Cho, out.